Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, somebody, wife was on the phone talking to somebody about very important things, and then somebody else was showing up at our door to take a mattress away. Um, so, oh well. Anyway, so yeah, we were with the spinning chords. So yeah, chord numbers 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6 can be changed into suspended seconds, so corresponding modes with that. So Ionian has a 1, 2, and a 5. Dorian has a 1, 2, and a 5. Lydian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian, they all have those intervals. And then suspended flat second. This is the one Beato said is a Phrygian suspended chord. I've never heard or seen it be labeled like that except for him, so I don't know if that's a real thing or not. But this is how I was taught. So yeah, suspended flat second. So yeah, Phrygian, because you have a root, a flat second or minor second, and then the 5. Locrian mode, chord number 7, that's got a flat second and a flat 5 in it, so we just call it suspended flat second flat 5. So just saying what is altered, what is changed in the chord name. Um, so fairly simple naming process. Just say what's changed. That's it. And then suspended 4. Chords 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Those can be changed into suspended 4s. So you have the Ionian mode, Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, and Aeolian all contain a root, perfect fourth, perfect fifth. Lydian. Lydian has the sharp 4 or the augmented fourth. So in that case, we would have a suspended sharp 4. Locrian mode, we have a suspended 4, flat 5. Often you'll see like the flat 5 in parentheses. It's not necessary, but it can make things a little easier to read. Guitar Pro puts it in automatically like that. And then at the bottom of this, it has, how these chords are laid out in key. So just kind of the way I remember these things a little bit more easily is just remember which chords are the oddballs, which ones are not regular sus2. So that would be 3 and 7. The 7 is always going to be the odd one because it has a flat 5. So something is always going to be different with that guy. So Phrygian has a flat second, so remember that for chord number 3. Lydian has a sharp 4, so the fourth chord number or the fourth mode has a sharp 4, so that works out pretty well. And then yeah, again, Locrian 7th mode, chord number 7 has a flat 5 in it. So I'm going to walk through changing chords from your triads to the suspendeds. Now, I recommend doing the suspended 4 first because it's easier. So basically what we're going to do, hang on, I got to change the way this is looking. Yeah, so we're going to start with like basic open chords, the popular chords, and then change them. So yeah, the suspended 4s are easier to do because even if you have an open string, you're just going to be raising that open string up to a fretted note. When dealing with suspended seconds, if you have an open string, which is a note that needs to be changed, well, we can't lower that open string down. So it gets a little bit complicated there. So that'll make more sense as we go. All right, so chord number 1, Ionian. We're starting with good old C major chord. So the process here is you identify what note needs to be changed, and then for the suspended 4s, we just raise it up to the next note in key. That's it. So the third interval of C is E. So I'm going to just type in the C chord again. So right here, there's your third interval, E. The next note up in key is F, so we change it to an F. And then we have another E right here. We have to change that too. So we got to move that up to an F. It gives us a C suspended 4. So let's actually go through all of those first. I'll come back and do the seconds after this. So chord number 2, got your D minor, So we need to look for the flat third in this chord, which is the F. I'm already on that. Raise it up to the next note in key, which is G. So now we have D suspended 4. Phrygian, we have chord number 3, E minor. And we look for the flat third in that chord shape, which is right here. So we're always looking for what's in the chord shape first. Sometimes people start to just look for an interval outside the chord shape because they're thinking, oh, I need this interval. It's like, well, look for it in the shape. In the shape. So yeah, G is the flat third. Raise it up to the next note in key. G becomes A. So now we have E suspended second. E suspended 4. I'm not doing the sus2s yet. Lydian. So we got F major here. So we need to find the third interval. In this case, it is A. A is the third interval. Raise it up to the next note in key. It's B. Now that one could be a little bit difficult to hold. If that's too much, like getting that bar in there, just do those 4 strings, the E, A, D, and G strings. You could also do it like this. And just play the top 4 strings instead. So either one, totally fine. So with this one, we don't have a suspended 4. We have a suspended sharp 4. Because remember, we got to use the notes in key. So a suspended 4, F suspended 4 would be F, B flat, and C. But we don't have a B flat in this key. We have a B natural. So it's B sharp 4, or 1, sharp 4, and 5. So we have an F suspended sharp 4. This one is not going to auto-generate in Guitar Pro. You have to type that one in manually. All right, so next, chord number 5, Mixolydian mode. We have G major, which is cut off on the screen. All right, and then once again, we locate the third interval. In this case, it's B. Raise it up to the next note in key. We have C. So now we have G suspended 4. Chord number 6, the Aeolian mode, A minor chord. Identify the flat third, which is C. Raise it up to the next note in key. So C is raised up to D. A suspended 4. Locrian. So now we got us a B diminished chord. So we can take advantage of the open B string here. Do it that way. Or we could stick with this guy. You know what? Let's stick with this guy because it's going to help with the sus2s. Let's use this chord shape instead. So B diminished. And then, once again, look for the flat third, which is that one right there, the D note. Raise it up to the next note in key. This becomes E. So, which actually leads to some possibilities here. With that being E, we could play the E, high E string open. Which also means we could just play this B string open. Which also means we can play it like that. So just a big old open B sus4 flat 5. So I'm going to use or put 2 of them in here like that. And here we go, the sus4s. So now let's go back up here. Go over the sus2s. So again, we start with the first chord. Don't start with the sus4 and then go into a sus2. Go back to the triad first and then change that. Always go to the home base. So we look for the third again, and now we lower it to the next note key. So this E becomes a D. But what about that E? We can't lower that. We could just cut it out altogether and just not play it. But there is a note we can place on that string and still use the string. So I like to go with that option. You don't have to, but that's what I like. It gives it a fuller sound. So we can't, so again, we can't put the D on there because, well, it would be fret -2 or fret 10. So one doesn't exist and the other one's way too big a stretch. We're not going to put the root note on there because that's way up on fret 8. Again, too big of a stretch. So G. G is the only note left. That's the 5th interval, so we're going to put it on there instead. So that'll give us our C suspended second. So I haven't been doing a good job of playing this everything as we go through, but just make sure you do that when you're playing it, okay? So like use your guitar to figure these things out, visualize it, play it. It's extremely important. All right, so now D minor. Locate the third, or flat third, which is on the E string here. So F, we now lower it to the next note and key. That gives us that F down to an E. So now it's D sus2. Okay, this one. Taking to E minor. So we're going to take, so ideally, we take that flat third, lower it to the next note and key. We have an open G string though. We can't do that. So what I do here, first step is, what can we place on that string so we can use that string, but get rid of the note that needs to be changed? Can't put the E on there because that would be, what the heck would that be on here? Way over there on 9. So that's way too far. So B would be the next note, which is right there, 4th fret. So we replace the G with a B. So now we're missing the new note. So if you lower the G to the next note in key, it's F. So we just look for the easiest F we can throw in, which is going to be right there. So here we took the G note, replaced it with the B. Now we're taking this E note here and changing that to the F, which is actually the exact same notes as that. So a B suspended flat, or B suspended 4 flat 5 is just a voicing or inversion of an E suspended flat second. Did you know that every sus4 is an inversion of a sus2 and every sus2 is an inversion of a sus4? It is a pretty cool thing to see when you understand that. Yeah, we'll get into more, can get into that later. Let's just continue on here. So yeah, F. So the F major, again, we look for the 3rd, which is right here. Lower it to the next note in key. So in order to do that, we have to get rid of the bar and play it like that. So you don't need to add in the top 2 strings again. You can just leave it as that. And you got your F sus2. You can also take this, just that version of the F chord, open up the G string. Do it that way. All right. Either one is totally fine. Actually, I would put both of those in there for you. So, taking the G chord now. Find the 3rd interval, which is that B. Lower to the next note in key, which is A. And that gives us G suspended second. A minor. We need to take the flat 3rd, and lower it to the next note in key, which gives us the A suspended second. And then our good old diminished friend. We're going to take the flat 3rd, D note, lower to the next note in key, which is a C. So a bit awkward to hold. That's what it is. So that is a B suspend. And this one you have to type in as well. Guitar Pro won't auto-generate this one. Suspended flat second, flat 5. B says flat 2, flat 5. And there you go. That's how we can put these suspended chords together. So you got 3 other keys to fill in. Just following that idea right there. So yeah, any questions come up with how to do it, let me know. Any questions about suspended chords, let me know. And I'll see you again in your new videos.